The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. Colin R. Davis. Now, I had to think this one through, my friends, and I think what it means, one of the meanings, is that we all go through time. We all go down that same road of time. Success and failure are based upon what you do with that time. What do you persist at doing? Is it drinking, partying? Is it gambling? Is it spending your time watching endless videos or playing games on your phone? Or are you spending some of that time learning new skills? That's what we teach here at chartingwealth.com. We want you to spend 10 to 15 minutes with us each and every day. You go down that same road as everyone else, but you are dedicating some of your time each day to learning how to track and trade stocks and ETFs. The best 10 to 15 minutes you spend each and every day, not the best, but close to it, we'll say, or when it comes to your financial health, the best. Now, let's jump into these charts and see what we see. Everything down for the day except 20-year bonds. We see the S&P 500 down 0.67%. We weren't super excited on this last Friday afternoon, if you look down at the half-day chart, to jump into the market. But I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and put the little widget in and track what it did. Now, again, we had a recross. We basically had things go down 3 weeks and then flip back over. Several things did not excite us about jumping into this trade. The first was, of course, we had this spinning top right here. We didn't have a nice solid green up candle moving up. Now, we've seen that before. We didn't see that here. One thing we did see here was super high volume when it plumbed its lows, and then when we turned around, we had higher than average volume with the turnaround, and of course it popped right up beginning that next week with no hesitation. This week, as we've seen things start off and we look at the candle, we can see there's even a little wick on the bottom of this week's candle. So again, not just running it up the flagpole as we would have hoped. And of course, when we look at what we saw on the other charts at the end of the week, we had an okay 2-day candle, but we look at our Friday at our entry point, we were seeing things blowing off, starting to roll over. Never saw super high volume anywhere in here. Nothing really getting us excited. Now, we did see some good excitement when things on the half-day chart were getting to the end of a short down move back on the 25th of August when things rotated around and started moving up. But that wasn't a key for us to get in there because that occurred, of course, the next week. And by the time we got to that week, things were really starting to slack off. But nonetheless, we went ahead and pulled the trigger just to show you the anatomy of what is going on right now. And as we look at it, we can see where things immediately stalled and started dropping into the red and actually accelerated throughout the course of today. We saw Friday afternoon, things started slowing down. Monday, markets were closed Monday. Down some on Tuesday and then accelerating on Wednesday. You can see average volume in the morning on Wednesday, just below it in the afternoon. Now, things are sitting right there on that weekly trend line. Are things going to bounce off? Maybe they will. Got a lot they have to recover, though. Now, if of course we do hit the loss margin there and we hit our loss band and lose 1.8%, then for sure we're pulling that trade. There's many reasons to have pulled it earlier. I just wanted to show you if you did. We didn't talk really about jumping into that because of that inherent weakness. Saw the same thing on Friday afternoon on the NASDAQ 100. However, things popped up a little bit on Tuesday, but then rolled back over going into the negative. Now still on the half-day chart, well above the weekly trend line. We look at the 2-day chart. It is in the red some. Weak candle that finished forming there today. and it's in the red and weak. And of course, we can see that as we started the week off, we were already well below that as far as being on the weekly trend line. We're so far well below where we need to be in the green, in the red. So again, these are the kind of things that by practice trading the charts, getting used to the kind of personalities that your favorite stocks and ETFs have, you can make those decisions more wisely. Now let's talk about where we are on 20-year bonds. Now when 20-year bonds on Friday afternoon, look at what had already happened. Already started crashing in the morning on Friday. I'm not planning on buying an up move on anything when I see it crashing like that on the day that I'm supposed to be buying it. Not about to do that. So we didn't have an entry point there. We had a green spinning top for that Thursday, Friday candle, and then the Tuesday, Wednesday candle, just a little below average volume on the 2-day chart. And of course, it's above that downtrend at this point. So looks like, however, things, they've been moving down solid for 2 days. Today, up a little bit, 0.25%. So again, we talked about how unexcited bonds had made us with these sloppy moves in here. Excited to see the down move. Of course, we were able to pull in 2.45% on that down move, and it did well for us. So we'll continue to wait, watch, and see if bonds are going to accelerate somewhere, give us a jumping in point. What about gold? Well, of course, gold, we didn't have an opportunity to quite clear out our position going down in gold. I don't think it just didn't quite reach things and then moved back over going up. Took off going up for 8 days, and then, of course, it is weakening right now. Now, again, as we look at things in gold, we've not penetrated. On the 2-day chart, we've seen the wick penetrate, but not the candle, but it is 2 days worth of red down candles. You can see where it has penetrated on the half day, and you can see, let's go ahead and zoom into the weekly chart. You can see this little green spinning top here for the week. Not sure if gold is going to revert back over to the down move at this point, down for the day 0.45%, but it is awfully weak at this point. Lastly, we'll go to Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin down again for the day, not much, 0.09%. We saw it really trek down hard on Thursday of last week and Friday, and then just sort of sliding sideways, although moving down a little bit over the last couple of days in this shortened 4-day week, thanks to the Labor Day holiday on Monday. So we will keep our eye on Bitcoin. Again, we're hoping it's going to pull back nicely and then have a nice smooth transition, a rotation over going up on the Heikin Ashi candlesticks with decent volume that really helps us feel like the down move comes to an end and a new up move starts. Hopefully, we'll start getting some semblance of decent action on Bitcoin. We'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. We always love to hear from you, my friends. Great training for those who subscribe at chartingwealth.com. Go there, sign up for our daily email. What do you get? Well, you get this, the daily review. You also get the weekly review and forecast once a week. You get daily trainings that come with that one email each and every day. That list is never spammed, never sold. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters. Patreon members, thank you for your support. We love you.